I really like Mean Streets. In fact, I probably love Mean Streets. Oh man, this is a very interesting and fascinating film for a film that came so early in Martin Scorsese's career. Entire worlds are explored through its themes without any true conclusion, without any closure. I mean, religion, race, friendship, manhood, crime, avarice, culture. The list goes on and the list goes on. These concepts are explored, but none are given closure and none are truly given growth either. I think that the best theme is self-destruction. There are flames, right? Charlie, who is basically an analog for Martin Scorsese, played by Harvey Keitel. For penance, he puts his hand over flames. You know, for penance, kind of to punish himself or to feel the infinite damnation of hell. But there is a physical metaphor for this flame as well, in the form of a very young Robert De Niro playing Johnny Boy. Self-destructive qualities. Not only is Johnny Boy heedlessly self-destructive, but Charlie himself, I believe, uses Johnny Boy as a literal flame, as a fire, as his own penance, as self-destruction, as something he knows can't be solved, can't be fixed, and it's almost his punishment. His punishment is him trying to save Johnny Boy, someone who does not want to be saved at all, someone who doesn't want any sort of charity, someone who doesn't even want kindness, someone who doesn't want to exude kindness. Robert De Niro, this is a really phenomenal performance. There aren't too many Robert De Niro performances that are like this one. Young, hot-headed, and doomed. Robert De Niro really knocked this role out of the park. I was very impressed by his portrayal of Johnny Boy, but even more impressed by Martin Scorsese's use of Johnny Boy as that self-destructive metaphor of penance. This is definitely Martin Scorsese, the agnostic filmmaker. He would later disavow agnosticism in favor of Christianity, in favor of an actual God. But in this film, you definitely feel a much stronger agnostic tongue, agnostic qualities to this film. It's very cynical. It's an incredibly cynical movie. I also feel that it's Martin Scorsese's, it's his film that is most influenced by the likes of Truffaut. It's very French New Wavy. It is very much within that vein. And it's incredibly energetic. It's nearly experimental with its sound editing, kind of pioneering with its sound editing. What's really phenomenal is that you see all of the great Scorsese motifs this early on in his career. This is truly the template. Are there flaws in Mean Streets? Of course, but I kind of love them for the flaws. This is kind of a coming-of-age story, coming into adulthood. And mistakes should be there, in its own poetic kind of way. I thought this movie was phenomenal, all the way up to that ultra-violent ending, the ultimate penance for everyone involved in that car. Charlie made everyone suffer for that penance as well. By not taking his hand away from that flame that was Johnny Boy. The ultra-violent conclusion was irreversible and it was inevitable. It had to happen. I really do like the movie Mean Streets. Just like I said, I actually probably love the movie Mean Streets. It's one of the most inspiring films of Scorsese to make you want to be a filmmaker yourself, because you can see the stitching, and a part of that is wildly and remarkably inspiring to young artists out there, I'm sure. Mean Streets is a great movie. It's a deeply complicated movie, and it's also a deeply unsatisfying movie because there is no closure whatsoever at all. You don't even know for a fact that Johnny Boy dies at the end. He almost certainly does, but you don't see the body. You have no clue. There's no closure from anything, even the ultra-violent conclusion. There is absolutely no closure, and perhaps that is absolutely the point. Just wonderful performances from Harvey Keitel and especially Robert De Niro. And this was wonderfully directed. Great energy, and great youthful energy, as you would expect from Martin Scorsese as a youth, right? And a great visceral sound editing, a great way of making you feel in those cinematic moments, in those moments of slow motion, where when you slow something down, by proxy of doing that, you are making that moment holy. And by anchoring it around Charlie, a character in search for holiness and search for a religious or spiritual purity, by using slow-mo as much as Martin Scorsese does, he makes these kind of less than attractive moments holy in their own way. So every moment is holy in our own ways, or maybe that's just the perspective of Charlie, that Charlie is viewing everything as if it were holy, as if it were cinematic, as if it really did mean something beyond itself. This great movie. It's a great Martin Scorsese movie. I really adore it. It's truly, in my mind, it's his first masterful kind of film. I do believe it is masterful, even if it does kind of display and maybe accidentally display kind of like amateurish, auteurish concepts and practices. I think that helps the masterful qualities of the movie, because the movie itself is about becoming. It's about becoming your own man, becoming your own figure of a community, becoming something beyond yourself. And that's what Martin Scorsese is doing as a director as the film is unfolding. It's becoming Scorsese. That word is becoming something beyond himself. I love Mean Streets. There's quite a few things you can talk about with Mean Streets, and maybe I will in the future in kind of a longer form analysis, but for now this video will have to do. What a wonderful movie. Mean Streets is great, and thank you.